All right, we are live. Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to that reselling show. Glad everybody could come out tonight. We have a good show for you. We have good guests for you. Hopefully we will go ahead and give out good information, which we should because we have a habit of doing some of that every now and again. As you see, we have a special guest. We do have one of our fellow that reselling show fellows that cannot make it tonight. That was Oscar. He's redoing his entire house remodel, and he's staying at his in-laws, which I'm surprised he wouldn't want to come over to and do a live show rather than hang out there. But hey, he decided he'd rather hang out with the in-laws, so good for him. So to my side over here, I got Mr. John, Mr. Show Me Pickers. How you doing tonight, buddy?
Pretty good. How are you doing tonight?
Wonderful, sir. Thank you very much for asking.
I have no complaints. I've been busy today. I've already got all my orders pulled. We sold 7 items today for $190, and that's all packaged and ready for the mailman to pick it up tomorrow. So I've been sitting in the antique store working. Went and got my paperwork today to reopen the shop. So should be some interesting stuff coming to the channel.
Excellent. We have another guest coming on here. Before that, we have the Beard of Wonder, Mr. Scott. How are you doing, sir?
Man, if I was doing it any better, I would go get Biden and Chris Wallace to yell lies at me. What an awesome day this is. Just been kind of took the day off and just kind of been piddling around. I'm leaving at 4:30 in the morning. There is one of those extended the highway 411 yard sales start at 7 o'clock tomorrow. So I've got to drive.
So no show tomorrow.
Yeah, no show tomorrow. I've got 2 hours to drive to get to the first one where I'm gonna start, and I'm gonna do that for the next 3 days.
Excellent. And we have the man, the myth, the paisan from the Midwest, the Lone Star Picker Louie. How you doing, brother?
I'm always happy to be breathing, I tell everybody. So when I go through the grocery store, the lady goes, "Yeah, I know what you mean." And I said, "Which part, the happy or the breathing?" You know, and she's like, "Oh gosh."
Well, it is what it is, but thank you. I appreciate you guys coming on. So the topic for tonight, as we all know, tomorrow, as a matter of fact, in a few hours, Q4 will be upon us. So what have you been doing to get ready? What are you going to do as you continue to get deeper into Q4? Now, I did 2 things. One, which I hope people have thought about doing, and if you've noticed what is going on with the post office, one of the things I did was in the beginning of September, I started ordering all of my free priority mail boxes. Getting my envelopes, my boxes, and getting all that kind of stuff. And it's funny, I ordered, and I'm still getting stuff. So, even the free boxes from the post office is slow.
I have an announcement. What? If you not use your eBay coupon, you've got like 4 hours.
Oh yeah, right.
I remember mine today at like 4 o'clock. I had to set myself a note in the phone. So if you have not used your store coupon, you're at the end. Go ahead and order.
I'm glad you said that. That's the first thing I thought was you got to be the first one on that first day. As soon as, like you said, it hits midnight or whatever, just get on there and order it.
Yeah, I just used this quarter. No, I just used this quarter.
You used it?
I just used it now. I mean, at 4 o'clock I did this quarter, so it resets again at midnight.
Wow. I did mine yesterday. I did mine yesterday, but it's funny. Like I ordered stuff beginning of September, and today, a box, something showed up, and I look at it and I'm like, what the hell? When did I order this? I'm like, oh, more stuff is still coming. So hopefully, if that's one thing to do. And the other thing I did to prepare for fourth quarter was, and I know this is very easy for Scott to go ahead and do, but I tried to do a lot of merchant fulfilled on Amazon so that this way I will qualify to be able to sell toys merchant fulfilled as we get closer to Christmas. So I was kind of focusing on that type of stuff. And it's funny, I can see the way it worked because my August eBay was down, and the beginning of September was down, but my Amazon FBM was up. and now it's starting to like, even out, a little more and everything. Because I was really focusing on trying to qualify so that this way when, November comes, I can just go ahead, get those toys FBM, and I'll be able to do it. And I won't be at a disadvantage this year. So what about you guys? John, have you been doing anything? Do you do anything different?
Well, and typically no. I mean, I have more inventory listed right now than I've ever had in Q4, but most of it is not Q4 inventory. I mean, some of it is. I have been going out buying more new stuff. One of the things that I've started doing when I go out to like flea markets and stuff, if I see something new in the box, I pick it up and scan it and just see what it comes up with. So to me, Q4 is a lot of new stuff. And Q4 for me really is not that different other than maybe chasing that hot toy. I was on a chat the other day and somebody gave out a tip about some kind of Australian dog that was real hot and it's real hard to find. I think it's like a Target exclusive. That's one, but I don't have any Targets around me. So if anyone's out there looking, that's an opportunity there.
Have you tried to order online?
I've looked, but to be honest, every time I try to, I can't say every time because I was pretty successful this year with the retail arbitrage that I dabbled in, but it was very scarce, hard to find stuff. So if I find one of those very scarce, hard to find items, I will go look for it. But I live in a very rural part of the state. We live in the Ozarks, and I've got like 3 Walmarts within driving range of me within like 30 minutes. And other than that, I have to travel about an hour to the closest town that does have like a Target and a Walmart and a Sam's. But there's so many people that live there. I call that I call it terminus. It's the last stop before anything else for like hundreds of miles. It's like that sign in the desert that says last stop for gas for like 200 miles. That's pretty much it when it comes to retail arbitrage. But I'll chase more Walmart clearance and Walmart items because there are a lot of Walmarts around me. But as far as Targets and stuff like that, I don't. But like I said, so I'm kind of the odd man out here. I know the guy right down below me. That dude is the wizard of Q4. So I'm going to stop talking because he's going to add a lot to this topic.
Okay, so there's something new coming. If you're an Amazon seller, I'm going to challenge you. Michael had a great idea. You really want to, and it's not too late to do your 25 because I'm going to tell you why. Amazon announced yesterday, the day before, they're going to do a Prime on the 13th and 14th. And so the 14th is the last day. So I'm going to try something I've never tried before. I'm going to do these yard sales for the next 3 days. And when I get back, I've got all this stuff in my storage building. I'm going to list a lot of it merchant fulfilled. But Beard, why are you going to list a merchant fulfilled? I can't get it there before Prime Day. And it be out of back stock. That's one thing. The second thing is they're having all these issues with toys and not having the CPSC certificates where they've been tested. And so you don't know which list until the 19th. You don't know which listings are in trouble. So you can send stuff in and then immediately be added saying, hey, you need this. So it has to turn around and come back. So I didn't want to ship toys until the 19th, but I want to sell toys. So merchant fulfill on Prime Day is what I'm going to try. I've never done it before. And I've got I look like a Prime seller, even though I'm not, because I've got my shipping set as free shipping. To me, it's easier to see what the price is that I'm selling for without having to. I don't want to have to add $4.95. I'm too old for that. But I think you truly have an opportunity in the middle of October to really merchant fulfill a lot of stuff, and so that's really what the first thing I'm gonna focus on for the fourth quarter. I'm more like John this year that he knows. I've really decided I've got thousands and thousands of dollars tied up right now, and it's just doing me no good sitting here. So I'm not going to source a lot the rest of the year. And now you're thinking, oh my God, how can you do that? I've got a 10 by 15 storage building full of new toys. Full.
Oh, wow.
I think. And so.
You're on mute, John.
Yeah, John's muted.
Let him go.
Muted.
Yeah, I said that if anyone needs Monopoly for millennials, reach out to me.
Yeah, so I've got all that merchandise. Then I've got my building here that's full. And so I really, I know you have people are going to find this hard to believe. I'm tired of going to bed at night wondering if my Amazon account's in trouble. I'm tired of living by their rules. So I really want to reduce my dependence on Amazon. And let's just face it, I enjoy eBay so much more. I enjoy the chase of eBay items. I love finding stuff. I'm still that same, digger at yard sales, digger at whatever I'm doing. I want to get more auctions. And so I challenge you. I'm kind of going through a rebirth in this fourth quarter. I'm trying to figure out where I want to be in the first quarter. And so that's going to determine what I do in the fourth quarter to get rid of, to move, and focus on. So it's not too late to change. Do what makes you happy. But the fourth quarter, I look at it different. You correct a lot of mistakes in the fourth quarter. If you bought bad stuff in the first part of the year, you can get rid of it and make a little money in the fourth quarter. I can guarantee it.
Right.
So that's my fourth quarter speech.
What about you, Louis? What do you got? What are you doing? What have you been trying to get ready?
So yeah, I'm sort of like John a little bit, where I'm not going to do too much difference, but I am this year more than I've ever. I probably maybe overthinking fourth quarter a little bit, but I'm going to do a lot of the same things. But like you said, supplies have been always on my radar. Probably back at right when summer started. Actually, I would just like see where I can hoard them and hide them and order it. And so I'm okay on like USPS supplies, so that's good. But I'm always thinking ahead because as I'm finding new merchandise, I'm sometimes finding that to strategically like ship the stuff out, you need a different size all of a sudden, or whatever it is you're trying to do. And so I'm like looking at different things just to accumulate more supply. And so I live in a place where all my source stuff is in the same place as my house. I don't have a storage shed in the back yet. I'm probably contemplating, if things get really heavy here, I'm probably gonna have to get a storage. And so it's it's one of those things where it's like, do I want to use my source of means and use that extra bit of sourcing, even if it's just $50 to $150 a month for a storage shed or whatever it is. But I will say this much: I don't do Amazon. I have in the past. I took somebody's poor advice and kind of messed up a couple of the systems in there, and I'm kind of like Scott a little bit too, where it's just I had it with Amazon at one time. Like it was probably about 5 or 6 years ago, where I was going on my perimeter almost to San Antonio, almost to Waco, Texas, from Central Texas, and just driving around like every single Walmart, focusing on this one object because I bank scored like $5,000 or $6,000 just in December. And that was like, that was a lot of work. And I remember how burned out I got. So thinking about what you were saying, Scott, that you're doing this merchant fulfilled thing. And I just remember at one point going, I don't know, depending like how you're doing it. And when I was doing most of it by myself, it was hard to reach out and get somebody to help me once in a while. And so I'm trying to stay within my means, but at the same time, I'm finding a lot of good merchandise that happens to kind of fall within the fourth quarter stuff. I'm not, right. I want to say this much. I'm avoiding like the plague. I'm avoiding everything Halloween. I don't see that going anywhere, the merchandise.
Yeah, I think that you are right. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity on clearance merchandise because there's a lot of collectors of Halloween. And the best thing about Halloween costumes is that they can be used all year for little girls, for dress up. So there's an opportunity there, but there's also with Halloween, if you don't want to pass up going to Goodwill and checking out for like Rubles masks and like cool Halloween props, because that stuff sells all the time too. That's like my little skull right there. That was a find at Goodwill, and I paid like $5 for it, brought it back, looked it up on eBay and stuff similar because it's made out of a resin. They sell for like $50 or $60. So yeah, I totally agree with everything you said. I wouldn't go out and invest heavily in Halloween because I think a lot of kids aren't going to be trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
So the costumes and stuff like that are
like, I'm really worried about like when you say invest, it's like, I want to be conservative this right. Just this year for once. So like to answer your question, Michael, like I think for me, for what my business model can, speak to, I want to be careful because like, I don't want to wrap all my money up in every, one particular thing. And then I'm sitting on it for a little bit longer than I need to. Like 2 weeks ago, I went out and I probably spent the most I have in a long time. Like I dropped $600 on a really good stuff.
Nice.
And, it was like, something told me do it or you're going to lose it. And, 3 video game systems, a Harley jacket that was, a sponsorship kind of thing. And it was, there's a lot of merit in that stuff. And then, as I'm leaving this 45 house development, like neighborhood sale thing. And I'm just, I couldn't stop looking. And I was so tired. Like I had to stop at one point. It's like, I'm finding another deal and another deal. This guy's giving all his paintball guns away. Here, just give me $10 for like, I'm like, for 2 totes of stuff. And it's just like crazy. It's like, so, now you got the stuff. It's like, do I need to source somebody to help me list this stuff like crazy or what? It's like, you just got to bustle it. And so fourth quarter is going to be busy, I think, in a good way. But I think we can be conservative. And as we get the revenue in by November, I think we can still have a chance to reinvest. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'm a little gun shy on going out too far. Like I think that elections have consequences, and no matter what, I'm not going to put out my political persuasion, but I think there's negative connotations at this point, especially after what happened last night. Like either way, there's a lot of negativity out there right now, and I am just completely worried about going out and investing a bankroll into something. And and I'm only saying this stuff because like it's relevant to reselling. Like when Joe Biden said he was going to repeal the tax breaks that that Trump had put into place, like when a conservative hears that, they go, "Oh, my taxes are going to go up, so I'm going to not spend a bunch of money." And then when you see a guy like Trump being bombastic and like almost crazy, like talking like you're like, well, I don't want to invest a bunch of money either because it sounds like World War III is right around the corner and stuff like that. Really, like your wallet, it goes from here to, it's like a clam. It's shut, and you're just worried about going out and spending a bunch of money on an election year and investing that for Q4. But the other side of that is the fact is, and I'm sorry I used a bad word, but the other side of that is the people who are willing to take chances and very calculated chances and go out and buy stuff and chase stuff. They might be the ones that really see the reward, because I can tell you that I dropped, thousands and thousands of dollars on swimming pools. On one buy, I bought almost 20 pools at $150 a piece. And, it was tough. It was tough to write that check or to slide that credit card. But when it comes back, you're like, I made the right choice. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Well, no, I think you're right. It's going to be tough. It will be interesting to see what happens. It's going to, the leading up and seeing how the economy goes. I mean, a lot will be told, and I think you're right. I think it's a combination of trying to be smart, don't overextend, but you can't you can't stop. Right. Now look, if you have, you can stop because you just go source, you just turn around and go source, or you go outside and source, but you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, you still have to try and gain some stuff. The big thing is I think what you said about, earlier, Scott, is that, if you go out there and you go chasing and you all of a sudden sending, 15 boxes in, large Home Depot boxes, into, Amazon FBA. And then all of a sudden there's something that goes on. What do you do? Like, you can't just go ahead and turn around and you can turn around and call that all that merchandise back, but what are you going to do with it? I see Scott's stalker is here. Mrs. Lingus.
Yeah, this is going to be a fourth quarter like we've never seen. Every one of them we've never seen, but this one with the political volatility and then with COVID coming through, I still say that there's no back stock. I still think that once the initial wave of store shelves are cleared, there's not a ton behind it. So, I think that if you've got inventory and merchandise, the price is going to rise very quickly. It'll do like it always does and fall very quickly, but the opportunity is going to be very big. It's just a matter of, are you in position to take advantage of it? Do you have your supplies? Do you have systems in place?
The one thing that we know that's going to be hot without a doubt, this is no trade secret here, be the PS5 and the Xbox, whatever the hell it's called, Xbox,
Right.
True.
Revolution or whatever it's called. I can't remember. But anyways, those and the accessories, you ain't going to go wrong by going there and like maybe putting that stuff in BrickSeek and knowing when your store gets it in, because the controllers are going to be hot, the games, all of that stuff's just going to be incredibly hard to find. But other than that, it's really difficult to know what the hot items could be for Christmas this year. Items that come to mind, maybe sewing machines, because people are making masks and they've been hard to find, but they were profitable a couple months ago and they've kind of fell off. But it's just, the thing is, you're going to have to get out there and do your research and start scanning and make wise buying decisions. You can't go out there.
Research like every 2 weeks. I think for us as resellers, we're going to have to be on our toes like we never have been before, like in a fourth quarter as such, because you talk about the unpredictability of it. I've contemplated one aspect of it is about, for us, as resellers, we source in certain different ways and certain fashions. And like John, for example, like you said, I can only source from where, I can cherry pick from, like what
Right.
be it Walmart here and there. But let me ask you this. A thought that crossed my mind, and I've entertained it a little bit, was, do you think that a lot of the stores, and I'm not talking just about Walmart, but like a lot of stores, and I know they've done this in the past, but like because this year is so unique, don't you think that they're maybe holding back in their warehouses a good chunk, a percentage, whether it's 33 or 50% of whatever it is, specialty novelty items, so that we don't come in and clean sweep them, because shelves are looking barren pretty quick.
There ain't nothing.
Yeah, it's just the fact that the breakdown of supply from coming overseas. That's a ripple effect you're gonna feel it. It's going to be felt definitely through Q4, which could create shortages, which could create demand. But then on the other side of that, you got to know now eBay's looking for that. And if you go out and you buy the California raisin here, becomes hard to find, and you try to list it on eBay, are they going to try to limit you? I tried listing a freaking Dutch girl costume on eBay, and they said that I couldn't list it because of the pandemic. And I'm like, what the heck? I have no idea, but that's the only time I had dealt with it. And some baby formula. I bought a couple cans of baby formula at a thrift store, and they were brand new sealed. And they said I couldn't list it.
Okay. So the one is keyword driven. So take the keywords out of the title until it lets you list it for the costume. The baby formula, you have to have a professional eBay account, which is just simply saying, okay, professional, and then they will allow you to sell it. Because I sold some baby formula, and you cannot list this unless you're a professional account. So I'll go on there, and it's just a couple mouse clicks. All right, I'm done.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you got to watch the price. They're very price sensitive, but those are easy to get around.
Okay, I might have to reach out to you after this then when you get back from your trip. And
oh hell, I got a headset in the phone, so you can call me while I'm driving.
Okay.
I don't care.
Yeah, I think production is going to be something. Stuff not getting over here. So you're right about that and everything. I think there are a lot of people who over time were afraid to go with toys and go on eBay because they didn't think that they would do well. But I think we've seen that is really, untrue now because, of some of the restrictions that Amazon has and stuff. And people are looking and, when they go on Amazon, excuse me, and they see that, hey, you could order it today, but you may not go ahead and get it until, the end of October. People don't like that.
Well, and my question, I probably should have been a little clearer for you guys, is like, I understand that at least in the past, and we don't know, we can't foresee the future, that there may be these, dilemmas where it's stopped at, being embargoed or whatever. It's just like you can't get this stuff. But I'm curious because there's a company here, and I've watched their strategies very closely. I've watched them in some business magazines. I've seen how they've done in like Wall Street, but it's a Texas company called HEB, and they're a grocery store. And the way they handled situations in the past with like not just the pandemic was really clearly a unique example. I watched them closely, and they made sure that they're very good in control of their distribution. So my question is like, Home Depot, Walmart, whatever you can think of, who has control of their own distributions to some extent. You don't think that corporate up high is like saying, hey, listen, we got to put a reserve of this stuff. Don't put it out there right away. To some extent.
Home Depot kind of proved my point. If you were going to try to sell some Halloween stuff when Home Depot first put their stuff out, all their displays and big items that would go in your yard and stuff, the most any store had was like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
They just had none. And they tried to, instead of trying to hold it back because they didn't have it, they spread it real thin to make sure every store had at least a couple. And if that was really telling to me, because I don't pay attention to Halloween generally. And I had a friend say, if there's any of these in your area, you better pick them up because they're 200 selling for 600. And it was similar to the pool thing. Any of the big outdoor stuff, if you could find it at Home Depot, was really, it's like a Hirsch or something, all kinds of big stuff. But it's Halloween proved that there's no backstock behind any of this. Christmas, it's going to be interesting to watch like Christmas trees and decorations. How much is there behind it? It's really a good opportunity for these American-based companies. But the problem with the American companies is they source a lot of the pieces from out of the country. So
they're guilty.
You talk about Halloween. Yeah, you talk about Halloween. You look at Walmart had the I think it was basically the exclusive, the Baby Yoda inflatable and stuff. Mm-hmm. But when you went into a store, if you went into a store and you found it there, the most you found was maybe 5. Most was more closer to like 2 or 3. And I mean, I've gone back in and they never restocked it. And they had other ones, but they have never restocked, that one. So I think it's right. I think, I think from a stocking standpoint, I don't know if they're holding back. I don't know,
I would think that they would hold back. Talked about this back in May and June. I mean, they have, because as far as big business structures go, they're aware of like how they saw like what happened to certain products right at March and April, and I'm talking about key products that I seen hoarders taking, and it's like going on like somebody had a pallet of toilet paper was trying to sell it all right away. But like HEB, was very interesting because the way they distributed their stuff, they were the first one, like I'm talking before April hit, they were already like putting up like 1 per customer, this and that. They were the first ones to have the thoughtful, what do you call it, the plastics behind, so they're I think companies are like being sneaky a little bit about it, but to the point where it's to their advantage, but also the one thing is they don't want to lose face. They don't want to lose their customer base. They don't want to, they don't want to be in a position where they're going to like not have anything. I mean, I'm curious to know, maybe even if it's 20%, if they're barely giving anything out now, like your example, Scott, regardless who it is, not just HEB, but Walmart or whoever, I'm thinking I can just see them like at the very least, to kind of keep a couple, families happy and throw it out there, But then again, I don't know. Maybe it's just a thought,
Well, but I think, I think that if they have their product, that they don't have as much as they had in the past. So like when you would look and like like Scott brought up Home Depot and Halloween, when you would look, I mean, my gosh, they would have, I went in today and I just walked by real fast. I have to go back, but they're almost already out of everything. And normally, I mean, it's not even October yet. And they have a half, if that much, of what they normally have. You know what I'm saying? So they may have. I think they, I think it was hard for them to plan because they didn't know what was going to happen with China. So for them, it was hard to plan for the fourth quarter. So them having it hard to plan for the fourth quarter, it does go ahead and give us a little bit of a hard planning of figuring out, what to do. That's why when you go and you see something, there are a lot of resellers, who don't like the clear the shelf mentality. But the truth is that, you have to have that, especially here, because inventory is not going to come back as fast. So if you see something and you can sell it, you go and you clear it. You put all of them in your wagon and you move on.
Right. You don't leave anything behind. It's the United States Marine Corps of Reselling. You don't leave anyone behind.
Scott, the only thing you leave is the shelf.
Right.
It's sad. You lick the shelf clean. But yeah, it's like I don't condone doing this, but like at the beginning, to me, that's when it first sparked was, I saw toilet paper, like was the first thing. That was like everybody's bare necessity needs. And just seeing that, I just stood back and went, don't you guys shop at Costco? Because that'll last you into the summer. But, and eventually it rolled. The toilet paper rolls came back. It rolled back in. And, it's.
I think things are leveling out some, and China's catching up, and I think maybe Valentine's Day. But people discount the fact that when they came back from Chinese New Year or whatever it was, they were 6 to 8 weeks with plant shut down in addition to the month that they take off. They were supposed to come back in they take all of February off, and they didn't come back until mid to late April. And so it really put a squeeze on. And then with everything trying to get this way, we had all the ports that were, even though they were essential workers, how many people took the extra money and didn't work, and everything's been a lot. Man, the truckers have been a godsend. They kept this country rolling. But it's the whole supply chain just from the shores out broke down. In the country, it was still fine because the trucks and trains and those guys moved stuff, and the workers, they did a wonderful job with what they had. But it's
because of our internal structure, But looking at the external distribution, I think we're still going to feel that for time to come. I mean, I hope it's not exclusively China. I hope that some of these corporate, greedy mongers have looked elsewhere. I don't care where they're going to source it and have somebody else make it, but there is definitely other places, be it India or whatever, or wherever who needs to make it, and especially internally, you would think. But I just think, we were blessed with the way we distributed things in a fashion that we did, be it bus, train, truck, or whatever,
Yeah, but I think I mean, I don't know. I think I think what Scott said, it would have been nice if we had a little more of that stuff in the U.S. It would have done a lot of good things for a lot of people, and and unfortunately, you can't really spin some of that stuff up, so fast. I mean, you can do certain things, but it's hard and everything. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see, everybody's saying, well, when things get back, it's funny. It's like, but when things get back to what? That's the problem. You don't know what things are going to get back to. So it's, so what we see today, I mean, you go in Walmart today, you go into the toys, you see holes like crazy. When has that ever happened?
Have you noticed, other than toys, have you noticed other specific spots that you could, that you've observed? I've seen some food areas too, still kind of, here and there. But
there was a period at Walmart when toys had huge holes in it, electronics had huge holes in it. There was nothing in the craft section with the sewing machines and all the fabrics. That stuff was just plastic. I mean, empty shelves. A lot of some of the kitchen area stuff. I mean, I didn't see an area that didn't have holes in Walmart, and that's a store that prides itself on at least fronting everything so it doesn't look like it. And you go to HBA and the HBA stuff, because I might have been making holes and everyone around here for months, and I'd never seen that. You go to Target Target was way worse off than Walmart. Nobody talks about it, but we have 3 Targets here.
Yeah.
Once they run out of something, it never came back. You know, Walmart was still trickling in, but Target run out. They
You're
were done.
the antithesis of John, right, Scott? I mean, you're the antithesis. You got all the Targets, he doesn't have them, and you don't, maybe have lesser of Walmart. But like what you guys were saying. That being said, with respect to fourth quarter, do you guys see do you see the possibility of this groundhog effect coming back again? Groundhog Day where it repeats itself.
I think the general public. I mean, I could be wrong, but the jig is up. Everybody knows. The flu has killed more people than this has killed. You weren't scared of the flu because the TV didn't tell you to be scared of it. And how long can we persecute small businesses? You look at the country now. The only areas of the country that are not working correctly are Democratic cities, big Democratic states. The South is back to work. There's very few things in the South that's not running because the South is generally, conservative Republican states. But just a matter of time, and they can't survive. The one thing the Democrats in these cities need is they need a tax base, and if they're not working, they don't get taxes.
True.
So at some point, they're going to have to let up on some of this in order to.
And if they don't let up and reduce some of the restrictions after the election, and they keep this through Christmas seasons and stuff like that, they're gonna see. I think I'm not really worried about like a national depression, but I really think that you could see some regional, localized depression. They're already talking about places like Seattle and Portland that they've created such a divot in their economy that they could end up looking like Detroit and other cities because so many businesses are in the process of fleeing that area because of the socio-political ramifications of their governance, that it's created an opportunity for people to be like, I can't make money, so I got to go somewhere. And so I think that when you look at what's going on in the world, that there's a lot of opportunity. And I think that in some of these more conservative areas of the country, that I think it's going to get back to business as usual a lot quicker than it is in the other areas. I'm just hoping that maybe some of this is being leveraged for political fodder, and that maybe after the elections, no matter where the cards lay, that we're going to get back to more business as usual. I made jokes on November 5th, everything will be back to normal, but maybe a couple weeks after that, we start seeing a lot of restrictions being eased up. They were talking about in New York, Krillin was talking last night on a live that I was watching, and he's talking about restaurants in New York that were only opening up to 25% capacity. And he said that isn't enough. That's just not enough to bring back wait staff.
That guy goes and eats at restaurants every night.
Yeah. You've got to have 100% because they're running on 100% capacity to be able to bring 100% of the money in so that they can pay 100% of the bills. Because there's not a lot of, you're not like, oh, we're only going to give you 25% of what you were making before. And you've still got to make all these bills. It don't work that way because they're not making 75% profit in the restaurant business.
Yeah. So another state lifted all restrictions today too. Who was it? Florida did it a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Another state lifted today. Alabama went back and said another 30 days. I think a lot of these states, they just, you can't. At some point, everybody has to realize we did this wrong. You quarantine and protect the people that are the most vulnerable, and the rest of the population goes on. And some people it's gonna hurt some people, and you're not guaranteed tomorrow. I could go outside my house right now and get hit by a bus. You're not guaranteed tomorrow. You can't live in fear. You can't, we're not. It's just insane, and I think people are.
It's insane because it's so complex. Because I think a lot of the the algorithms we think that and be it the political side of it or whatever, scientific side of it, you want to look at it too. It's going to be a continuation of just how are we going to learn ourselves back out of these situations, and I know it really differs from place to place because. You guys, although you were talking about kind of a little bit of this and a little bit of that, if you just look at the West Coast again, with Seattle and Portland, I'm just thinking, because I grew up in the West Coast. I haven't lived in Texas all my life, but I grew up on the West Coast, and I can see where, like, just depending on the economy of that one little sector, I just remember when all of West Coast was mostly just agriculture. I grew up seeing and watching my grandfather's farm that was, a walnut orchard and whatnot, and just being clearly, chopped down, because the value of that was, for the market, was, you're not going to exist anymore. We don't need you, because there's this new thing coming in called Silicon Valley, And so the restructuring of that is always like, and it took that city quite about two or three decades to realize, this is how we got to restructure. These are the things we're going to do. And there's always a political fodder that's like debating on like overdevelopment and gentrification versus, this is what the economy needs, and this is where we're going to go with it. And, money's always going to push and pull it. But the markets there are really interesting. Like, you can't live and I wouldn't want to now with half of California burning, but it's like, you couldn't even afford to live close to the Bay Area. I mean, it's just,
I think there's even further ramifications. I think that, there has been it's just shown people that, I think these cities have been getting so large for so long. I think there's going to be more people moving out of these bigger cities. It's shown people quality of life and all kinds of things are very important. And I live outside a big city. Huntsville is this area of the county is 500,000 people. That's why I've got 3 Targets and 12 Walmarts within 30 minutes.
Okay.
I live outside. I live 10 miles out. I live in rural Alabama. We have no police officers. We have no city hall, town. We've got a grocery store, a couple fast food restaurants, and a little bit of airport.
And 2 sheds, probably.
No, I've got one. I've got the one shed outside, and I've got 2 storage buildings. But
sheriffs.
2 sheriffs.
So what he's saying is, everyone moved to Huntsville, Alabama. It's utopia.
There's 2 or 3 living in the neighborhood.
No, but it's interesting how things go. Like, John, like you said, it's funny. John talks about not having all those stores. Yet where I am, I mean, it's kind of like where Scott is. I mean, I have, I don't know, I within a 75-mile radius of my house, I couldn't tell you how many Walmarts there are. There's
your area?
There's like 65.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's over 60 of them, right? And then there's Targets and there's all that kind of stuff, But I think the lifestyle that the different platforms go ahead and go for, make it what you want to be, what you want to do at it. You got the chase, you got the not chase. And I think that affects the way things are happening. When you have to go, if the stores don't make it easy for customers to come in, now that's any store, whether it's a restaurant, whether it's a retail store, if you don't go ahead and make it easy for people to come in, people aren't going to go ahead and go. And they're going to resent it because they're not going to understand them. It's like, it's ridiculous what the crap that we had to go through, just to go ahead and go to a store to buy the basic necessities. Walk down this aisle. Don't walk that on aisle. Look, make sure there's nobody in front of you. Make sure there's nobody in front of you. Stand on this dot. Stand by this X. Stand by that line. It's a bunch of crap.
Well, you can tell that it's easing up because all the errors have gone out of any stores now that I go to. I was at a Walmart today, had both doors open. Most of the ones in this area, I think there's 2 left that don't have both doors open again. They're preparing for the busy season, but they're also preparing for life post all this craziness. Back to semblances of normal. Yeah, you've got 150 Walgreens in your area too. You just don't know it. I might have been to most of them.
You have.
Okay, multiple times.
I know.
And the ones that he didn't hit, Sue hit.
Once have you told me so we could meet for lunch? Damn you.
Hey, I hadn't met Sue for lunch either, so there you go.
Okay, I don't feel bad. No, but I think when you look at, it's funny. Big Mike had said something about, the Walmarts and all that kind of stuff, bicycles and stuff. I mean, they're still bicycles. Like you talk about holes and everything. I mean, they're still out there. They are still there. So it was funny. I didn't realize it. I was not paying attention. Wasn't, and my son had a bicycle that'd been sitting in the garage, hadn't known about it. I threw it on Facebook Marketplace, and within 5 minutes, I had about 15 people asking me, "Is it still there?" And like that, I'm thinking, "What the hell is going on?" Finally, one guy was like, "Do you have the bicycle?" Yes, yes. He goes, "I'm on my way. Don't sell it." I'm like, "Okay." No haggle, no nothing. Gave me full price. Thank you very much. And I go, man, I can't believe how many people were asking. And he goes, "You can't find a bicycle." Now, I had no need for a bicycle, so I never really paid attention to that part of the store. But as soon as he said that,
was there. Yeah.
Holy crap, you're right. Everything is gone. And when does it come back? Who knows? You know?
I mean, like now, go try to find canning supplies in any store around you. They're not there. You know, go try to find ball jars or any of the canning stuff. None of it's in the stores.
No.
And when you do find it, it's a top-notch price. It's crazy. Like the stores, they're like sitting back going, "You want it? We have it, but you're going to pay for it." You know.
Oh yeah.
So,
They're tired of us making all the money. I went and bought a bunch of canning jar stuff back in the midsummer because I was like, "Well, what's going to be hot next?" And I'm like, I run a prepper page, and people started saying, "Hey, has anybody seen any canning supplies out there?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay." Yeah.
Out of my storage, it's like, and when I say storage, it's my carport where I can't even park my car anymore because I got so much junk in it. But you're gonna laugh at me, and maybe it's my hoarding senses, you know, from my grandmother when she was like always, you know, she was from the Great Depression. She was just like, "Save this stuff." I have so many mason jars right now. It's I'm not kidding you. I probably got a few cases of them, and I'm not doing anything. And some of them are specialty kinds. So yeah, that's something I need to get rid of. Facebook Marketplace, that sucker. If they're, I don't know, but I see them around here. Like they still sell them at the stores.
Yeah. Oh, you can find them. But it's one of those things where, it hits the shelf, it's gone. Certain things like that, the canning stuff, you basically have to be right there or be the first person down that aisle after that one box came in. And again, you talk about supply stuff, the same type of thing, where they would throw where in the past, they would throw 3 or 4 on a shelf. Now you even look up at the top shelf where the overstock is supposed to be. The overstock is, empty. It's all what it is it's like, it's funny. I always heard so many times people say, if you want to know what you should be selling, just walk around the store and look. And I was like, yeah, fine. And walk around the store. I see all the crap and everything. Well, that was because I was a jerk and I was looking at the stuff that was there rather than looking at the holes, because now you can see what doesn't sell.
Look above that, like you said, if the overstock is stored right above you. If you start seeing that's low, kind of put 2 and 2 together. But like, I'm still curious to see, and I'm getting, that's probably one thing I would like to beef up in terms of fourth quarter. Follow what trends are going down real quick, but like in terms of just when I say trends, like, are we going to be out of toilet paper again? Or we're going to need more mask supplies or candles or whatever it is, it's like, do I got to invest in that? Because you can sell that quicker on Facebook Marketplace than, any other.
But it just shows you the supply problems, because the stores were not caught off guard. They know this is canning season. How many times have you ever seen canning supplies out more than a day or two? And then if they were, you just go to the next store and they'd be right there. We're talking every single store out.
Yeah.
So it just shows you, not only is there no supply in their warehouses, there's no supply in anybody's warehouses.
Yeah.
Right.
But the mentality behind that is what? The people that can are always going to be canning, but the one step above it is like, I'm asking myself is, are they canning on top of that because, SHIT, I don't want to go through another discourse of, whatever, there's people that are, I'm not saying I agree or disagree, but there's people that still don't want to go out. They bought into the mentality of what the stores are telling. Hey, you don't have to come in, order it. We'll deliver it to your car. You know what I mean? So it's like,
I think part of it is more people, as they didn't work, had more time, and they found, more people gardened and did that kind of stuff, grow their own food, because
Sure.
What they had time and little money, and so it's much cheaper to grow your own vegetables if you've got the time.
Oh, sure.
So, now they're canning to keep their work, and so I think some of that.
It's also the money too. I think what your point there, Scott, is I think you're on point, and that's 100%. But I think there's I don't ever look at it as black and white. I look at all these other pie charts. There's a lot of folks that are struggling right now, and if they don't have enough food to replenish, they're gonna do that canning thing. Like you said, and like they've had all this time. Then they're saying why didn't I do this in the first place? Why, especially if I don't have to step in the store and then go wash my hands every 5 minutes or whatever, So, if that's canning supplies, I'm going to grab them left and right.
But to the point though, Scott, it was everywhere. A while back, I had to go to Rochester, New York for work. So I flew into Buffalo and I drove over and I was like, well, you know what? I don't have to be there until, I just have to check in at my hotel tonight. So as I'm driving, I'm not going to stay off the highway and I'm going to hit all the little stores. I mean,
Mikey's looking.
in little itty bitty town, in New York there, that had, groceries, that had either a grocery store or had a hardware store. They were out of, let's say, canning supplies. They were out of all that type of stuff. So like Scott said, it wasn't necessarily that, it's just, Walmart. It was across the board everywhere where you couldn't go ahead, and find it. And it was one of those things. And I mean, and it's not, and it's, our people. And the thing is that you can't even say people were hoarding it and that are waiting to go ahead and resell it because, you got it, you listed it, it sold. You got it, you listed it. I mean, I was doing, when the dumbbells, when the dumbbells were selling, when you could at least every now and again find them in Walmart. Hell, my wife and I were in North Carolina. We were driving back. We stopped at a couple of stores. The last store we stopped at, I sat in the parking lot. I listed everything that we bought. 80% of it was sold before I drove home 3 hours later.
Wow.
And I was like, crap. I got a box on. It was 11:30. I'm like, oh, crap. I got to go ahead and get it out.
You should have done a video. You could have gone viral like me.
That's true. I wasn't thinking about that. I always forget to turn the damn camera on.
You remember, if you're a YouTuber, you got to take every opportunity and keep filming every 5 seconds. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I'm gonna wear the camera. I got video cards all set up here, just sitting right here, ready to go. I'm gonna film everything for the next 3 days.
Good for you. So, how long does it take you to drive there, Scott? I'm sorry, you said it.
Hour and a half, 2 hours, somewhere there.
Okay.
That's where the start of it. I'll pick that up about 50 or 60 miles into it, and then I'm gonna go. Are you in North Atlanta? Because 411 goes across Cardinalsville and then up.
Yeah.
So
I'm in Marietta.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna meet you again.
No. 411's good. They had a bunch. I tell you, once you got on 411, boy, you got a lot of dollar stores once you get up into the hills and everything, man. That's like the place.
Hills, I'm looking forward to going up there. I've never been up there.
Yeah, you go up to Tennessee. You go all the way up through Tennessee.
Yep. I'm gonna go all the way to Knoxville and then I'll quit, or past Knoxville. When I stop finding good stuff, I'll quit.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I mean, the inventory and stuff. I think that's why, you have your new stuff, but you have your stuff that the garage sale stuff, man. I mean, that kind of stuff, the yard sale stuff, that stuff is still going because I think it's like you said, it's that mentality of people still being afraid to go out and, them wanting to go ahead and be comfortable, stay at home because they're scared and everything, and it ranges. And it's not, it's funny, this whole thing about, who it is and stuff. I mean, there are plenty of young people who are afraid and plenty of old people who are afraid,
I'm going to tell you the best thing you can be doing now for the fourth quarter is really thinking it through and planning out. If you're planning on doing a lot of merchant fulfillment or a lot of eBay, and if you use a lot of a certain size box, maybe the time is now that you buy some boxes. Because if you guys remember, in May, after all this, we were doing a lot of our own shipping. A lot of the online stores like eBay and stuff, Echo Swift and several of them ran out of boxes for 6 to 8 weeks. That was a backlog, so I had to find different suppliers. So I got a feeling if it's going to be so busy online and so many things, in early mid-November, boxes might be hard to get. So
no, I think you're on point, because I keep in the back of my mind, and then I'm not doing it enough, and it's like, otherwise you guys are gonna, like we'll be ending up on those dollar stores. We're gonna be depending on them, like paying $2 for a small little box. I don't want to do that. I want to buy as much as I can right now, because I'm looking at Walmart and the boxes that I depend on them, which I don't like to, because if I don't order, they've been out. So every time I've gone in there, they're crazy. Like somebody's hoarding them, and I know what's going on. It's like us. It's like we're getting them as fast as we can, because we know the scarcity's. I think there's going to be a bit of scarcity here and there. Now, what can we bank on?
You can get boxes way cheaper on eBay than you can Walmart. I use a Supply Hut. I don't have any links or anything. That they're a good seller on eBay. They're pretty quick with their shipping. Their boxes are the thin ones, but they are very cheap. If you're really looking for a supplier, Supply Hut is highly recommended. That's who I get a lot of mine from.
I just ordered boxes from them.
Right? Okay.
I just ordered some boxes from them. I ordered 8x6x4, and then I ordered like 8x5x3, because 8x5x3, if you could put it in there and it's heavy, that fits nice in a padded flat rate.
And I use a lot of their 10x8x4, because a lot of the figures, the hanging figures,
the action figures,
that kind of stuff fit in that box without having to cut it down.
I need some 10x8x6s, because I sell a lot of hats on a Grail thing, and I just wanted that 2 extra inches as opposed to the 8, 6, 4.
So is my wife.
That's what she said.
Oh no, Connie's gonna comment.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, Louie.
No.
No, but it's interesting. I think this fourth quarter, I mean, we always say fourth quarter is different, and it's funny how, each one of them is different. And I think, I mean, I have not been reselling as long as a lot of other people. I mean, so honestly, this is my first fourth quarter in an election year, so I don't know how different that is, or how different that has been in the past. But you make it you do what you got to do to survive and move forward.
Yeah.
Connie, I'm not going to Highway 69, and I definitely wouldn't see you on it. Although I did used to live right off Highway 69, and I still wouldn't. There is a 69 Alabama. I lived off of it to the west of Tuscaloosa. Yeah, I don't think there might be a little drama and stuff going on, but I don't think it necessarily affects us that quickly. I think the first quarter it would definitely affect if it went south. I don't think with retail being so tight and other traditions of people buying stuff, I don't think it affects fourth quarter that. I don't want to be carrying the excess inventory like John said in the first quarter.
Right.
But I think most of if you buy within reason, the fourth quarter is going to get rid of most of it.
So do you think, I mean, I know we were only talking, we talked like for 15 minutes about fourth quarter, but let me ask this question as we move forward. With what we see as inventory for the fourth quarter, how do you think that could affect what we see available at cheaper prices in the first quarter?
That's a good question.
I think stock gets back closer to Valentine's Day. I think because you're coming up on a year now. I think that stuff starts rebounding. But like somebody was saying, or shipping from China is about 3 times as much right now because it's so much harder. So I think the costs come to somebody. The costs are going to be passed on through us to the consumers. So I think prices are going to continue to rise. People, the fourth quarter, as long as the post office doesn't just have a heart attack and just crap out, which I don't think they will. There'll be issues with everybody else, but I think people will see the value in it, and I think they'll continue to buy online. I think it was already increasing greatly. I think next year it just continues the trend of people going, you know what? I don't want to go to the store. I don't want to deal with all the hassle. And I think Walmart and a lot of these grocery stores have got a winning plan. You know, I pull up and like, you put it in my car and I leave.
Right.
I want to do that with PS5s.
Say that again, John.
I said I'm going to do that with PS5s. I want to pull up and then put up like 10 of them in my car, and then I can leave.
No, Larry. Mr. Sadie, you need 25 merchant fulfilled items. It doesn't have to be toys. It just has to be any merchant fulfilled because they want to see your performance doing your own shipping. So it doesn't matter what category you can go buy 25 pencil sets and sell them for $6 each. They don't care.
Yeah, I know cost. It's not about cost. It's about just hitting that number 25. And
are you shipping on time and correctly to the customer? That's all I care about.
Yeah. As long as you don't have any like customer complaints.
Yep. Well, I cannot believe that an hour has gone by this fast.
You get me and John in the same room, we'll suck the oxygen right out of it.
So I can't believe. So
I didn't help. I'm sure I didn't help much either.
No, not man. I mean, it's the discussion that keeps it going. It's what this show is built on.
Yeah.
What we have tried to go ahead and do is keep the conversation flowing, and it's not just limiting to one thing and be like, okay, hey, we've talked about this for 15 minutes. Let's go ahead and be done with it. No, we just keep flowing and we do that kind of stuff. So we're going to go ahead and start to, wrap it up a little bit. I don't know. I mean, I'm still having a good time talking. I don't know if you guys want to, we'll go there, but I mean, I think, the topic is the topic. We talk about it. We talk about fourth quarter often. You hear a lot about it. It's just, each person needs to prepare their own way. Each person has to figure out what they can go ahead and handle. I think we were right about, you can't overextend yourself, because I think that could go ahead and get you in trouble. Because if you overextend yourself and all of a sudden you start missing shipping, you start missing product and you can't find product, it could be worse for you than thinking, if I go buy all this stuff, everything's going to be great. In my opinion, I mean, I may be wrong.
That's what I meant right from the beginning, Michael. Like when I said being conservative, there's that good chunk of it there. Like, do I know for sure? Because I have product from 7 years ago that's like John's infamous Monopoly, games that are sitting there. But it's like, how am I going to get this crap out of here? It's like, and I did a good job. Like I threw a few things online, and I was surprised that you're gonna laugh at me, but like I made about it was about $6,000 just like within like 3 or 4 weeks on Duck Dynasty stuff, and that stuff sold. It was just great. Wow. It was a trend, and it was a fad. And it was like, it was at I don't know. I just caught it at the right point. And everything on Amazon was there, but it's like, do I want to take those risks this year? I think it's ultimately about how efficient are you going to be about your risks. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Monopoly so much. What's up?
Yeah. Why do you hate Monopoly, John?
Why do I hate Monopoly? Because
I opened the door.
Because I'm still stuck with $1,000 worth of Monopoly for Millennial Game, and it's been 2 years ago, Christmas time.
I mean, hey, look at it this way, John. Look at it this way. You're only 18 years away from them being vintage.
Or here's the thing: how many do you have, John? How many do you have left?
I never sold but like one, so I have like 30 or something. I don't know. They're in my basement. They're sitting right underneath of me.
Got a good channel in my basement. Got a good following. You got a lot of people that love you. The next time you do like a little gift giveaway, you're gonna have this little gift giveaway box of stuff. You're gonna sneak one of those in there, and say, "Hey, this is my reseller box gift to you." And
because it costs
30 times.
Right. But it's so big, it costs too much to ship if no one's. It's a great idea, but then it costs some $25 to ship.
But it won't happen, John Jones. No Tannerite Monopoly videos. What I need to do is I need to do like a who's the guy that bought all the remotes? The Rockstar. And and be like, sell mystery boxes for like $50 and slide one of them into every mystery box. Like guaranteed to get $100 worth of resale value out of this $50 mystery box.
Hey,
that's a flea market item. You just got to get rid of it.
Trailer load of remote controls. A tractor trailer. 30-something pallets or whatever the hell it was, man. I mean, oh my gosh. Hello, Jennifer. I couldn't, man. That's crazy. Crazy. You know.
I'm gonna record that video as soon as I finish making this room a studio. I got some pictures and stuff to put on the wall, make it look nice behind. I'm gonna record that video. It's gonna be a YouTube video paid for my van. It's gonna be the story of the Monopoly Millennial and how much I made on that video.
You need to frame one of them in a shadow box and hang it in your wall, hang it on your wall.
Hey, and if you don't have any, Scott,
give me a shelf there.
Johnny does.
I'll send you one for free.
Hey, go ahead, send him with my stickers.
Right, yeah.
Your stickers. I got your stickers.
Oh Lord.
I'll send it media mail.
Oh God, yeah, you might as well. What the hell? So many people try to send stuff in media mail.
We need to send them a bag of ice right now. Let's
need a bag of ice because of the pain, Johnny.
It's no, because I mean I'm not complaining. Shit, I mean I made like $20,000 on swimming pools, so I'm gonna be like it's okay. So like I have thought about making a video and just putting them in a pile and burning them and saying no one to hold them, no one to fold them, and have the thumbnail of me standing out there in a Speedo holding up a Monopoly for Millennial with a pile of them burning behind me. And if that don't make a video go viral, I just ain't made for YouTube.
I would pick 30 different YouTubers, be it 30 that you don't like or 30 that you like, and just send them one each. You know, just say, here, I was thinking of you. Boom.
Yeah, mention my bad buy on your channel. Don't buy this stuff.
Make a video about it. You know,
I am going to. I think what I'm gonna do at Christmas time is I'm gonna stand on a street corner and make a video of me like doing a Mr. Beast style video and just giving away Monopoly for Millennials to people. Be like, you get one. Here's your free Monopoly. Merry Christmas.
There you go.
And here's another thing. You own a store. You're eventually going to open up again, right?
Right.
You not? Okay. There you go. You get one of those antique glass jars and you put your email in here and win a free
Monopoly for Millennial.
And you let 30 people say only 30 people are going to win. And you use that, but it's a marketing scheme because you're getting their emails. You're going to like clearly bank off of them, and you send them, you know, come every Friday and you get 10% off or whatever, you know, and a free Monopoly.
And you think about it, where he lives, what's the chances that other than him, those people even really heard of Monopoly for Millennials?
They don't even know what a millennial is. Here we kidding.
Right, come on, you know. He probably went to go get one or two of them.
Right. Sure he is in the Ozarks, right?
Excellent. Great buy.
Take this clip. He's going to have to add this clip in there. Look at those things. And
hey, man, look, John, at least you didn't have a van full.
I have a bunch of these. And this isn't all I got. I've got 3 times this many in the basement. So it is what it is, folks. One man's trash is another man's treasure. It's trash for me, but the man below me, it made him probably $50,000.
Michael, I've never seen Scott go like this. He just like bend in. All you see is his shiny bald head.
But
all because
that was the product.
Donate them to Goodwill, write it off, and go visit them once a week for the next 3 years. You're gonna randomly. Like what I'm gonna do randomly in each video is just like drive up to random people and be like, "Hey, here's a Monopoly for Millennial," and like record it and just put them in like my YouTube videos. Like somewhere in the video would be just me giving a Monopoly for Millennial away.
think of the best question you can ask them. That's kind of either little humor, whatever,
Yeah.
just something little, and then just somehow maybe even reseller related, but just random people. Even if they don't have a good way to answer it, sometimes their answer is going to be like good. Talking about fodder for like material for like your content. Just go up to like some old lady sitting on a bench and say, "Ma'am, may I interrupt you?" "Yes. I just want to ask you one question, and I want to give you this free gift. That's it." And she'll look confused and have her answer your absurd random question.
Right.
And
Yeah, like
just
John.
go from there.
With John's luck, they'll be like, "No, thanks. You can."
Yeah.
No.
Like, who is
No.
the first president of the United States? And they'd be like, Taft? Be like, close enough. Get the game. There's no wrong answers.
Michael, no, and his luck, they'll be like, 911, there's a man trying to give me a Monopoly game.
Yeah. John Jones said, hand them out at Antifa protests. Antifa don't exist. It's just an idea.
Right, yeah. It's not a group, it's an idea.
But that was a weird case study where you could not give them away on eBay, and I sold, lightning fast on Amazon. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I think that's probably what I'm going to have to do. Is it'll make good YouTube video. Be like, I've got my GoPro right here. Be like, hey, I got a question for you. Do you know what year we declared our independence? And they'll be like, I don't know. 1842. Yo, win a Monopoly for a millennial. Congratulations. Like, where the hell do you go?
Imagine that 30 times in a video, and that video is going to have to be at least 45 minutes with the right edits,
Right.
Oh Lord.
That would be an epic video. Just drive around and like just put them in random people's, like the back of people's trucks, be like, and just like run off at Walmart. And at the very end of the video, when you're done with the last one, you just take it and you chuck it at the door at Walmart when they're closed and walk off.
No, better yet, just film yourself with the GoPro hidden and go up to Walmart and say, hey, this was a gift to me last week. I want to return this. It's just going to like look it up in her system. Like, this doesn't exist anymore. It's not my problem. They said they got it here from Walmart.
No, what's going to happen is she's going to go, did you see that video on YouTube of that guy who sold so many of these? I wonder if you got it from him.
Here's the wonderful thing. The sad thing is once he gets rid of his last one, that video will go viral, and all of a sudden everybody's going to want that Monopoly. And they'll be like worth $50 each.
Eric Hoffman said a Monopoly for millennials just sold for $18 on eBay today. I'm almost in the money. I'd only lose 50% by the time I shipped it.
Right.
Well, I'd lose more than that, but I think giving them away was going to be a better idea. I'm going to take a couple of them with me and just try. Just be like, hey, I want to give you a Monopoly for millennial, but you got to answer a question.
You should put one up.
I still want to see the lady's face in Walmart. If you see the lady's face in Walmart, she's like, sir, we haven't sold this in 19 years.
Almost 18, he said. Yeah, nobody is buying Monopoly for millennial. That game will never sell for retail value. It was an absolute flop of a game, and somehow the guy below me made a damn fortune on it. That's the purpose of that's the perfect example of be the first in and the first out.
Yeah,
because
your method of being the last one in didn't work.
Yeah, it ain't worked. It ain't worked. Not yet. I've held on to them for 2 years, and they're still like,
man, I can't believe they're not just selling that. That's about all they're selling for. My goodness.
John, I got the perfect outro for your video. If you actually plan to do this, you're just gonna have to play that Frozen song.
Which one's that? I've never watched Frozen.
Let it go.
You want to build a snowman?
Let it go.
Let it go. World Star.
$20 and like 28 cents on Amazon, so they're still losing there too.
Yeah.
How much are they at Amazon?
44 sellers, $20 and some change.
$20 and sell them in a lot. Sell them in a lot, so that way you can maximize your shipping. and just sell like say 5 brand new ones and see if you can somehow get like cheap FedEx shipping and maybe make 75% back.
She ain't nobody buying 5 of those. They ain't gonna buy one.
How do we need to hype it up again to make it rare? Be like, yeah, everybody needs a Monopoly for Millennial.
Turns out all the ISDs, the independent school districts are like, oh yeah, all the kids shut in. Let's buy in some.
Weird. When you think about a lot of other things, when they run out, the price typically goes up. Not that one though.
No.
Very odd.
And it's all because of that guy below me. There's so many resellers out there holding these because of Scott Zilke. Everybody's seen that video and they ran out and go, holy crap, Monopoly for Millennial. That's the next Tickle Me Elmo.
But a lot of knowledge in that too, because when I got them and I sold the first 130, I still had 70 left, and so many came in over the next couple of days as I sent them in. Amazon came out with they gave you a discount on the fee, and I'm like, okay, I can get rid of these at $42. The fee makes it like I sold them for $55. I'm like, I'm out. I called my brother. I said, get the hell out now. And we both dropped the price and ran out. And everybody still carried. And this was like December 7th or 8th. And there's still so many. You can see the sellers piling in. It got up to like 170 different sellers. And yeah, I dumped and ran. You got to know.
A smart businessman. He knows when to get the hell out.
Heck yeah, man.
Jesus.
Because somebody asked me that I still have those bulb headlights. I bought on clearance. They were $12 each. The lights, whatever the star shower lights were.
Freaking bulb head.
I had 140 something of those lights. It took 2.5 years to sell them.
Wow.
So, you learn from experience is a great teacher. I'm telling you.
It's a Kenny Rogers song, and no one to hold him.
Well, it worked. I mean, hey, it's the proof is in the pudding. It's seeing the trend. It's seeing it. It's recognizing it. It's also being able to jump on it at a moment's notice. Like now it might be hard. Unfortunately, Scott, it might be harder for that to happen now because Walmarts aren't open all the time now. They're not open 24 hours.
John said the instant I was getting out, Johnson was probably buying them. I would doubt it. I would get out in a hurry. The one thing I'll tell you is I found them things on clearance for as much as $5 and still wouldn't buy them.
Right. Yeah. But what I'm saying is like now it might be hard to do what you did with Walmart not staying open 24 hours.
Yeah, because I left here at 12:30 or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I got back at like 2 o'clock the next day. I went for over 24 hours straight, 780 miles, like 22 Walmarts.
Yeah. So that, that will affect things also as the stores change their hours and aren't open the way they are. It affects how things you can, do and stuff like that. When you can go take advantage of knowing that, hey, Walmart stocks at 12 o'clock, right? So I can go ahead and if I'm there at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, I can go ahead, and take advantage of stuff.
It'd be very interesting if Walmart opens their hours up even farther as they get closer and to the hard Q4 because, they make a lot of money. 10 o'clock is really hurting them, like on Friday and Saturday nights. Their stores are still busy.
Sorry.
You read the chat.
John Jones, when Scott was getting out, I was probably pushing. I drove all the way over to Carbondale, Illinois to pick up some. That was where Popeye was from. And I drove all the way over there. And
wow.
It was about the time that Scott dumped and ran. I think I sold 3 of them.
So go ahead, John.
No, I'm done. I was just
what was that hunger in you about that? I mean, I know it was like, oh, I got to get it because that's going to be a good deal of money, but
because I'm friends with Scott.
Why Scott?
Because
You're
I'm
blaming
friends with
him?
Scott, and he's like, we're in private chats. He's like, Monopoly for Millennial. He's swinging his big old thing around, talking about all the money he's made. And I'm like, I'm going to go get some.
So, yeah,
the
but
thing
that's
he
just
forgot
it.
to
Like,
tell
it's
me
that
was when he was
follow-
going to dump them.
He forgot to tell you was he already buying them for 2 weeks.
But he
That's
was
it.
selling them on Amazon. I was going to do eBay.
I listed them on eBay the weekend I bought them and didn't sell them one. So Monday I shipped them all to Amazon.
Yeah,
So-
it was an Amazon product. And that's what I've learned. It was an expensive lesson, but I've learned that not all retail arbitrage items, just because it sells really well on eBay or Amazon, doesn't mean it's a good eBay item, because eBay vets nobody. They're like, oh, you got a Pulse? Yeah, okay. You can list on eBay and tank the price.
Right.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's the truth. I mean, now who knows? Things may change a little bit. Maybe some of those products will, sell equally on both.
You know what
I'm
the
watching-
sad thing is? Here's the whole saddest thing about the whole thing with John and all his games. He can't even break him open and play with the Monopoly money because that edition doesn't even have Monopoly money in it.
What? Oh wow!
I was gonna make an absurd suggestion to John, but I think he's had enough of the millennial thing. But
it's a good joke. It's funny. It's okay. I've made thousands and thousands of dollars on other. We have all had that one item that we went out and bought. The other item that I went out and bought was the Tickle Me Elmo. And me and my buddy Jeff, we went to a bunch of stores. I went to a bunch of stores and bought. Probably had about 50 of them, and I thought they were going to be hot. It was the one right after the real hot one that it came out that year. And we had probably I had a Jeep at the time, and it was just full of them. And we started taking them back because I realized real quick, like, oh, crap, these are not selling for even what I got in them. So we started taking them back to Walmart. This is early 2000s. And the last store we went to, because we only have so many Walmarts around. So I was like, if I had 60 of them, if I took back, there's like 5 stores. So I'm like, if I take back about 10 a store, that maybe, we can do this and they won't be too conspicuous about it. So by the time I went to the 3rd store, I was like, screw this. I said, load every one of these up. So we'd already returned 30 of them, and I still had like another 30. So I'm pushing carts of Tickle Me Elmos into the store. 3 carts. I'm pushing one, I'm pulling one, and he's pushing one. And we go into that store.
At all? You didn't take
we go into the store, and we're standing there. People are staring at us. Management walks by, eyeballing us, and we're standing there. We get up to the cart, and I'm like, I got to come up with the story. They're going to tell us no. And I get up there, and I didn't have the money to gamble. It was a stupid bet, and I shouldn't have done it because I don't like returning this stuff. And I got up there, and she goes, "What can I do for you, sir?" And I said, I've got a lot of these toys that I got to return. I said, it's unfortunate. She goes, really? She goes, is anything wrong with them? I go, no. I go, they're perfectly fine. She goes, why do you have to return them? I said, I was going to donate them to an orphanage, but the lady that ran the orphanage said that they didn't like what Sesame Street stood for because it was a religious orphanage, and that she was not a fan of the public broadcasting service. And so they wouldn't take them. So my only option was to bring them back. And she looked at me and she goes, "Aw, that's sad." And I go, "It sure is." And I turn around and I'm just like, this is going to happen. And my buddy Jeff is just rolling. So we take all of that back and we go home. So 6 months later, we're rolling back up the road and we're doing some shopping. We go into this Walmart and they had marked these things down to $3 a piece. And I filled 2 carts full and went back out the door with them. And I got them for pennies on the dollar. So life's what you make it. If you get lemons, try to make lemonade. If you get a bunch of Monopoly for millennials,
that's the best reason to tank it, so you can go back and invest in it.
It is. I mean, reselling's fun. It's just a game. And when you have people you can do it with, it's very enjoyable.
I made a video earlier this year about the llamas. I had 225 booty shaking llamas, the Walmart edition. and ended up losing $500-$600 on selling them all. I'm like, they were in my account all through fourth quarter and then through January, February. And my buddy Dan, he bought 1,000.
Oh no!
Yeah, between the two of us, we had so many. And he bought white ones too. He still got white ones. And so that the llama jug, I keep the llama outside. He's beside the desk. Anytime I mention him, I pick him up, make him shake.
But I think that's I think when you talked about it all the way in the beginning, Scott, that's the thing about the eBay piece is that it's more fun when you do that type of stuff.
Yeah, one-offs are not bad. People kind of talk down about one-offs. They're a little harder to list on eBay, take a little more time, but the risk becomes very minimal when you're just dealing with one versus 200 or something.
Right.
Yeah. And also the antithesis of that is like of the risk is the gain can be just so phenomenal. Like when you're paying 10 cents for something and you realize it's worth, close to $9,000, whatever, you're like, okay. I scanned something the other day. There's this lady, and the one rule I was taught, and I've been reminded, was like, when you go to, like, you got your garage sales and you got it all set up, if you're doing yard sales that weekend or whatever, estate sales, and I love moving sales, and this happened to be a moving sale. This lady was a collector, and I drove up, and I knew it was her place because she had one of those metal pods where you move. So I said, that's the moving sale. As soon as I go around the corner and look at she had all her tables lit up. This lady was a serious collector. She collected everything sci-fi, Batman, everything Harry Potter. And this lady, I started talking to her, and I got the information from her. She was a collector, but she got all this stuff so she could sell it as a reseller. So I said, okay, so you were a reseller, and she did it so she could support her habit. But somehow she used to like work with this distribution company. She used to get a lot of it for free. But the stuff in there I scanned, probably like 60% of it was not worth a lot. Like what she was asking, I want this, finally I did the bundle thing. It's like this one thing I was like, don't even bother scanning it. It was a Hallmark ornament, but I looked at it, it was like it was a novelty. And I went, oh, that's Harry Potter. Scanned it, and I said, how much do you want for this? And she's like, you could have $5. It was $190.
Oh my gosh.
$190 for this one thing. If I told myself, because I don't like Hallmark, because half the time, there are rare ones, but she had the rare one. So this lady was like a superb collector. And I went against my rule was get in, get out. Don't spend all this time there because you're going to miss the next yard sale. This one I had a cherry pick. And I tell you what, like $50 one day, I went back the next day and $30. I probably got close to $1,000, just like just crazy. Like this stuff, I never seen it. I've never seen it. I'll never see it again. It's like a Batman, but with the Joker stuff on it. It's like, what is this all about? But she gave me Lego sets, brand new, like pennies on the dollar. And I was like, because I bundled. Yeah. So stealth,
Yeah, but that's the kind of stuff you really, a lot of that stuff you can't do for Amazon stuff. You might be able to do it but
actually they all had scan codes. Yeah, you could probably get it in there. They're probably on there. Yeah.
Yeah, but the problem with doing it is you don't have any no receipts. You don't have any way to show the chain of custody for your inventory. So if somebody says that's counterfeit, you have no defense. So you're at Amazon's mercy.
Yeah, they've tightened up the bolts since I've been on it last, and I was like, but like you said, Scott, I was just like, I don't think I'd want to go back and entertain it. My friend was like, here, you can have my account. I'm like, no, I don't do that. He's like, no, I trust you. And I said, it's not about the trust. It's like, I just don't want to deal with Amazon right now. It's like, great. He's like, you're missing out on the gravy train. I'm like, maybe to some extent, but it's already gated so much,
Yeah, the gravy train was years ago. It's just now it's working competition now.
Yeah. Well, it is because there's a lot more people jump on something. As soon as somebody hears about something, they jump on it, and then and then what happens is I think where Amazon got probably a lot more new sellers this year, And they had people who, you know, were not having as much money come in as they used to because they were trying to make ends meet. And they said, "Ooh, I heard about Amazon, so on and so forth." And then what happens is you know, they have the mentality. Just because I send it into Amazon, it means it's going to sell, you know, within a day. If I send it, Amazon's the biggest company in the world. Oh my gosh, if I send my stuff in, it's all going to sell. It's going to be awesome. And it doesn't sell. And then all of a sudden, what happens? They get the panic. Whoop, and there goes the price.
Right.
And it affects everybody, not just them. You know, because everybody, and you know, now the seasoned people will say, okay, hey, I'm not budging. My price is where it is. It's where it's supposed to be. I hopefully will wait long enough for those sellers to go ahead and, you know, get out. Those lowball people, hopefully they can go ahead and get out and clear it out, and I could go ahead and make my money that I'm supposed to make on this. You know, you know, you're supposed to make $15 on this item, but people are making, you know, $1.87.
Tell you what, I wouldn't be opposed to bringing like, you know, 500 Almos all in at once and just go up to the lady and make up a great story like that. But I would film it. Because that would make more money off of that.
That was back before that was way back before there was even YouTube. There was no YouTube.
But see, here's the thing. You got guys like What the Hales or whatever. You don't think they stage half of this stuff? Imagine if you could just have the right insider and just go along for the ride and just pretend like you're bringing back a bunch of stuff. Get them to say
half.
You know,
half.
You're only saying half.
You're a little short if it's half.
95 plus. Oh, there you go.
Oh, John, are you getting a coin machine?
Yeah, I'm going to
What's the next thing you're bringing out, John? Another coin? You see, we got the coin machine. We got Monopoly for millennials. You know, wait, hey, you didn't find Versace and Gucci in a dumpster, did you?
No, but I found a bunch of iPads.
iPads. Yeah. Oh man, iPads, iPods, all this kind of stuff. AirPods. I can't believe it. Who would throw this stuff in a dumpster?
No.
I don't know.
That'd be a good one. I found 30 millennial monopolies in this dumpster.
There you go, John. Throw them in the dumpster out in your
John,
backyard.
If I get to your place, we'll shoot that video. You know, the beer picker finds Monopoly millennial in a dumpster.
Look at, I was playing a coin pushing machine the other day, and I got 2 of these bars with the exact same serial number on them. What's the odds of that? You can I instead of putting your quarters in the coin pushing machine, you can go on wish.com and you can buy these for about $2 a pop, and it's a lot cheaper than getting them out of a coin pusher. And that's why people don't like me on YouTube. I'm really a nice guy. I don't see what the deal is.
Don't be so hard on yourself. When you get to 5K and you still have those 30 monopolies, it'll be vintage, and you're going to have a great scheme to go through again. You know.
Yeah, John, we're gonna find them in a dumpster one day. Don't worry.
What I need to do is I need to make a car out of Monopoly for Millennial, like tape them to the car and do like a Mr. Beast video. I'm going to give you a free car. Here's your Monopoly for Millennial.
Yeah.
It would be really funny to go like to a college campus and hand them out for free.
What is a millennial?
You have college in that part of the country?
We do. It's called high school. Only certain ones of us gets to go. It's really difficult to get that far if your daddy uncle don't drop out and you have to go working in the coal mines. You'll be okay.
Yeah, I shorten that if you're dunkle.
My daddy uncle left when I was 6 months old, so I ain't never seen him.
Your dunkle and your man.
You got to respect your dunkle. He's kinfolk.
He is kinfolk. He's kinfolk time too. And
Have
I
you
got
guys?
I
you
got
up
a
in the
brother
Ozarks?
he's got a daddy grandpa. That's really confusing.
Are you
Somehow,
up in the Ozarks, John?
yeah, I live in Fredericktown, Missouri.
What do
My
you
friend
think of
Jesse, though, he lives
the
in.
TV show Ozarks? Did you see it? The miniseries?
Oh yeah, I'd never watched it.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's
that,
good.
I watched some of the. I never did. I started watching it, and I'm like, this ain't my thing.
No, you wait till you get to the third season. It's not what you think. It's crazy. But
I need to get Scott up here to sign every one of these damn Monopoly games, and I'll list them on the internet. It's signed by the bearded picker.
Hey, as long as I can shoot them in a video, finding them in a dumpster, I'll sign them off.
We'll sign them all, and you can be like, if you want your own, we'll sell them for $20 plus shipping. I'd be happy to lose just 10% of my investment.
Scott, you also need a chicken sandwich in that dumpster.
Yeah. That was horrible.
Hey, look, somebody didn't drink the Starbucks. It's like,
Oh man, this is really good. Chicken sandwich. It's still warm. Oh man. Well, all righty. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. We'll get some last final words of wisdom-ish stuff. We'll start off with our guest, my paisano brother, Balomi Louie. Thank you for coming on. Appreciate you. Appreciate everything you do for the community and everything. And it wouldn't be right having a live without you. So what do you got?
I appreciate it being invited, and it's a joy to get to talk to you guys, because you guys will talk the talk and walk the walk. And my only advice tonight is just don't ever buy Millennial Monopoly, ever.
Never.
I'm gonna
See
end it there.
Sadie put.
Take it over.
Scott, thank you, sir. Appreciate you going ahead and taking time out of your night to come on the show. Much thanks.
So my advice to you is Millennium Monopoly is a home run. Buy everyone you see.
I agree. And if anybody wants, I'll cut them a really good deal on it.
Oh man.
No, it's just you've got time now. You can plan now. Take a few minutes to plan your fourth quarter where you want to be. You can't hit a target if you don't have a target.
Johnny?
I just want to tell Jesse, Wildman, that I do live in the Ozark Mountains. You'd be surprised how much of the Ozark Mountains are actually in Missouri. They stretch all the way up to Jefferson City and all the way to the Mississippi River.
And
So
if you buy, you better get your game size boxes from United States Postal Service.
Yeah. And two, if anyone would like a Monopoly for Millennial, they are listed in my eBay store. So go on over. The link is actually in my description of all my videos. I will give you a shout out on my video. So all 400 people that watch them, sometimes 500, 600, 700 people watch them. I will say, Steven from Massachusetts bought 2 Monopoly for Millennials. Thank you, Steven. I appreciate you. That could be you.
Do they get a sticker?
They will get a free sticker with every order. I'll give you 4 stickers.
I wouldn't count on it.
Well, I want to thank everybody who came out and watched us tonight. Thank you very much. We truly appreciate you guys taking time out of your nights. Thank you to our guests. Thank you to John. Oscar, I hope you're doing well. We missed you tonight. And look, like Scott said, fourth quarter is only beginning. Now is not the time to give up. If you don't think you're ready, now's the time to go ahead and really go ahead and push. You still have time. You can still get out there. You can still go ahead and finish the year really strong by having a good Q4. So all I can say is you know what? Don't horse around. Go out and get it. Thank you, everybody. Much love. Peace. Appreciate you guys. Have a great evening.